bring more people back to those stores and reopen those businesses. They're hugely important.
Angie Tingus, what are your ideas to help small business?
Well, small businesses in Ward 30 are, in one way thriving, in one way shutting down. It's a mixed pot of eclectic businesses. How I could help? Well, for once, I could say I go to most small businesses in the ward, if it's from the wine bars on Queen Street to the cafes on the Danforth. How to help them? The BIAs and the building owners need to be accountable for the rents that they impose. It's quite obvious that the rents on the Danforth are not reflective to the rents on Queen Street, which are also not reflective to the rents on Gerrard. So trying to give people an opportunity to rent space to grow a small business would be ideal. And second of all, I think that relooking at the new harmonizing bylaws that were enforced on the new small businesses should be a start for City Council.
All right, let's go to the phones. Here's a question from Maureen in Ward 30. Maureen, what is that question, please?
I have a two-part question. As a 25...
Make it a one-part, will you? I got a lot of callers here. Make it one good question.
Okay.
All right.
As a 25-year resident of Ward 30, I'm concerned about the redevelopment and cost of Chester Village, 717 Broadview. To all of you, in your mind, is this affordable housing? Would you have allowed input from the private sector?
Okay. Chester Village. Let me start with Paula Fletcher.
Well, I'm not sure if that's not Maureen that's been active around Chester Village for quite a few years.
Does it matter who it is? It's a question.
I just say hello to you, Maureen. I think Chester Village is a great new affordable housing project. It was bought to be a shelter. It was bought in order to assist the old Chester Village, which had to move because of nursing home regulations. And in looking at what could happen there, the community said, we'd like to have affordable housing, and that's going to be 80 apartments for seniors, low end of market rental. I think it will be absolutely great.
Okay. Liz West, what about Chester Village?
I think, well, Chester Village, as we just heard, is going to become affordable housing for seniors. The unfortunate part is that it sat empty for, I think, 2 or 3 years before construction began, which was a huge concern for the residents on that street. I spoke to them in August, and they were pretty much beside themselves with having to live with this empty building, which sits on Broadview. It's a prime piece of property, and I believe that the units are going to cost somewhere in the range of $300,000 each, when it could have been probably in the $200,000 range. And so the big question is, why are we going way over budget when we end up with a property that costs the taxpayers more? We didn't get the seniors in there as early as we could, and was a real point of contention for the neighborhood.
Mark Dudney, Chester Village.
There's no question that seniors have to be better taken care of. We've seen the case with Toronto Community Housing of Albert Starling, who died simply because of paperwork. That's an unfortunate thing. There is no question that our seniors are one of our most valued resources. Seniors stop me all the time. They've helped shape a lot of my platform. So they're a resource that can't be ignored. Specifically, 717 Broadview. It's an idea whose time has come and gone. It should have been done years ago. It should have been done well under budget, and part of that is sole source, etc. I hate to draw links to other wards, but you wonder if this isn't going to turn into the similar kind of debacle to Adam Vaughan's $11 million homeless shelter, which is only having 40 beds. I see the costs rising continuously, and quite frankly, somebody with a mother-in-law who's going to be looking at taking up one of those spaces eventually, it makes me worry.
All right. Mahali Varga, your thoughts on Chester Village?
Well, I couldn't agree more with Mark said. Yes, they are definitely the seniors get priority and looked after well. But I don't really know the specifics. I don't want to make a statement like a politician. I don't have quick phrases.
Sir, you're running to be a politician.
Yes, but I don't have quick phrases for every question. All I know is what is required is to gather facts, collect information, consult with the experts, and then come to a reasonable conclusion. All
right. Angie Tingus, what about Chester Village in specific?
In specific, Chester Village is
start there anyway.
Yeah, it's a great idea. The seniors are, a very growing group of people. The baby boomers are going to turn into seniors very soon, and to afford housing for some who've been renters, life renters, it's expectable that we provide something for them that they can live in, accommodate in, are close to, transit and shopping, and that's something that is well thought out. I think, unfortunately, it's taken too long, but as long as it happens, and it happens.
Better late than never?
Better late than never. All right. Good things need to happen. If it takes time, as long as they're happening, that's all that matters.
Andrew James, Chester Village.
I think accountability is the issue here. The delays, the cost overruns that we see on city project after city project, including Chester Village. Yes, it's great that it's happened, although what we're seeing social houses, or houses that are set aside for social housing, being empty all over the ward. Paul is reluctant to have them allow them to be sold because she wants to preserve social housing, but in the meantime, their value is declining. So Chester Village is an example of where they finally did it, but where is the accountability? How do we stop these cost overruns that are plaguing the city budget right now? How do we get things to move faster? And we really have to, productivity, as I've been going door to door, talking to people, talking to union city employees, productivity, helping the taxpayers to get more for their money is a recurring issue, and this is one example. It's great that it finally happened, but we really should demand more from the city.
Gary Walsh?
Well, I have my own philosophy. I'm sorry?
That development in particular, if at least you could start there, Chester Village? That was the question?
Chester Village. I have a philosophy on affordable housing. And when I hear it's affordable housing for straight seniors, I think we fall into the trap where you have a group of people they're elderly, they certainly need affordable housing. But I'm 100% for mixed housing. Now, I think I should be able to move in there and pay market rent. There should be some younger people in there. There should be people paying market rent. But to have it straight subsidized housing with elderly people, I think it'd be a lot better financially and socially for those people to have somebody like my age or maybe younger living down the hall. But the concept as it is right now, and as Mr. James alluded to, the expense, I think we should really rethink that project and the other projects that are on the go or in the blueprints.
Okay. Here's a question now via email from Ann Burbage. She's with a cycling advocacy group. So here's her question. I'd like to know how candidates would improve the ward for cyclists. Paula Fletcher, let me start with you.
Well, I think